Shalom. This is Brother Shamak. I want to start off, of course, giving out honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Kakadash. Double honor to the elder apostles, great millstone, rule, and teach well. Shalom to everybody tuning in, listening, learning, getting this edification from several brothers doing this ministry from the four corners of the earth. Shalom. I just want to go into how our people is stiff-necked and rebellious. You know what I'm saying? Our people is constantly, rebelling against the scriptures, turning the head, just going in one ear out the other, and the Lord ain't gonna be dealing with all of the nation of our people in this time. You know what I'm saying? He got a remnant that he's gonna save. But let's get right into it. This is the book of Acts chapter 7, verse 51, verse 52. 51. Ye stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ears. Ye do always resist the Holy Spirit as your fathers did, so do ye. All right, so, he talking to a rebellious nation. He's talking to the nation of Israel, but our people constantly turning their ear towards, these scriptures, and choosing not to do the way of the Lord that he's, made a righteous way just for us to dwell in, but our people don't want to, get right. Our people would rather be choosing to be Hellenized and live the Hellenized way of life, rather than, choose the righteous way to live. All right. It says, which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted? Right. So it said, so these are the same spirits, coming back. That persecuted the prophets. These are the same spirits coming back that, didn't hearken during the time, during the time that the Lord put the prophets on the scene. Because the Lord put the prophets on the scene to warn you. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 33. Let me see. This is Ezekiel 2 and verse 5. It says, and they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. I'm sorry, verse 4. For they are, I started verse 3, damn. Ezekiel 2 and 3. And said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that have rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed me even unto this very day. So, Jacob's a rebellious people, you know what I'm saying? The Lord done put us through all these captivities. Here it is, we in the same condition of captivity that we've been in before, and trying to tell our people to get right, and they just don't do it. Verse 4, so it says, for they are impudent. Let me get this word impudent. It says, Strong's H 7185. Kaseh. It says hard, cruel, severe, obstinate, hard, difficult, severe, fierce, intense, vehement, stubborn, stiff of neck, stiff neck, and rigorous of battle. Right, so there you go. They stiff neck, they hard headed. You know what I'm saying? Obstinate. The word obstinate means I don't know what the hell that's talking about. Definition of obstinate. It says stubbornly. So there you go. To an opinion. So you're stubborn to your opinion. Purpose of court or course of in spite of reasons. Of reason, arguments, or persuasion. All right. You stubborn to your opinion, even though we bringing out the evidence. You know what I'm saying? Even though we bringing out the truth, you still stubborn to your opinion. Right? It says, for they are impudent children and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them And thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh. And they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house, yet shall know that there have been a prophet among them, right? And they gonna know that it's been a prophet among them. Revelation. I'm sorry, Jeremiah to the 28 and verse 9. The prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord Yahweh hath truly sent him. So when the word of the prophet come to pass, you know what I'm saying, when these sayings that the prophet is saying actually come to pass, then that's when you're gonna know, yeah, the prophets have been sent among you. You know what I'm saying? And you know what you've been doing all this time while the prophet's been on the scene is gonna you know, be the deciding factor of if the Lord gonna deliver you or not, right? Because when we going back to Ezekiel, it says, "Then they shall know that a prophet have been among them." All right, yet shall they know that a prophet have been among them. Verse 6. And thou, son of man, be not afraid of them, neither be afraid of their words, though briars and horns be with thee, and thou doest dwell among scorpions, be not afraid of their words, nor be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house, right? Because the scriptures say, Book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 8, Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy forehead strong against their foreheads. So, right, we got the Lord, we got the truth, you know what I'm saying? So the Lord telling us, you know what I'm saying, not to fear, you know what I'm saying, these wicked jakes, you know what I'm saying? Just like we ain't supposed to fear the heathen, you know, you're supposed to fear that which can kill body and soul in hell, man. You know what I'm saying? Which is the Lord. He could throw you in that hellfire, give you that second death. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't got nothing to fear with these niggas, and we gonna keep, you know, doing what, you know, the Lord required of us to do, even if it means persecution. But this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, in verse 20, it says, Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Right? And this is what our people do. They love to scorn, they love to scoff, and they love, you know what I'm saying, to hate knowledge, man. You know, here it is, trying to tell us some knowledge is going in one ear and out the other. It's not even no point of teaching you. You know what I'm saying? Just go up the block. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm talking about how you know you an Israelite, but you know, you just, you know, looking for an IUIC camp to join or something. You're not really in it for, you know, the gaining of this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You more so trying to, you know what I'm saying, gain some type of outlook on, some type of image, or, you know, you just don't want to be, you know, a lot of these people's ashamed of the gospel, you know what I'm saying, what it really takes to be, you know, in this truth, you know what I'm saying, you know, the slandering, the scoffing, you know, people looking at this thing, people get afraid of that, and that's why a lot of people don't even want to, you know what I'm saying, hear the scriptures, you know what I'm saying? So, but, you know, that's on them, you know what I'm saying? The scriptures say whether they hear or forbear, You know what I'm saying? You don't hear these scriptures, that's on you, because eventually it's gonna be a top commodity, if you will. You know, it's gonna be one of those things that you need it. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna, the read Matthew chapter 25. You know what's gonna happen to them that didn't trim their lamps. You know what I'm saying? That didn't have that oil with their lamps. But it says verse 23. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called and you refuse, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. We just prophets, man. We just the Lord's mouthpiece. We just gonna call, you know what I'm saying? We just gonna allow the Lord to call you. And if you turn the shoulder, being stiff-necked, that's on you, man. Eventually the Lord is just gonna destroy you, and you gonna miss out on your grace period. It says, but ye have set at naught all my counsel and would none of my reproof. All right, so there you go. You set the Lord's counsel to the side. You know, what's the counsel of Revelation, the 13th chapter? What's the counsel of, you know what I'm saying, Sirach, the 2nd chapter? What's the counsel of, you know what I'm saying, Ezekiel, the 33rd chapter? So, you going to put to naught all of this wise counsel that's pretty much needed for you to be able, for you to require your salvation, you know what I'm saying? And you ain't going to get no reproof from the Lord, man. You know, our people don't want to hear rebukes. You know what I'm saying? Our people want to hear one rebuke. No, man, I know what I'm doing. I'm perfect. You know what I'm saying? Hop in that Jesus spirit real quick. I'm baptized. I don't need, you know what I'm saying, nobody telling me that I'm going off here and I'm going off there. Our people don't want to hear reproof. You know what I'm saying? Our people don't want to get corrected. And that's another thing that turns them away from hearing the truth, man. It's a saying in the world, you can't handle the truth. You know what I'm saying? That's from that movie. I think that's from that movie Rocky. But that's the complete truth, man. A lot of people don't want to hear the truth, not even about themselves, and that's what pushes them away from, you know what I'm saying, being a man of the Lord, you know what I'm saying, or being in His truth. It says, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. So the Lord's gonna, He's gonna get his laugh. The Lord's gonna get a good laugh at the destruction of America. And all of you people that was rebellious towards the Lord is gonna find your place somewhere in that. It says, when your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. Right? And early means, what it means. You're gonna try to get up early in the morning. You try to go to the place that where we're gonna be at. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? You ain't gonna find us. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna find the Lord's men. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be too late. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna try to look it up on YouTube. Guess what? You ain't gonna find it because Esau gonna take the videos down. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. You're gonna try to find them old breakdowns. They're trying to find the new breakdowns where brothers at. And the Lord is eventually just going to take all this shit off the internet and get His prophets off the street, man, using this devil and whatever else, man, He going to use to get the prophets off of the street, man. You know what I'm saying? And when that happens, you had your time to get right. So what you going to do? You know what I'm saying? So, Lord's willing to edify to an elect member. The Wadi, how much you want to try to forgive me? Should do this lesson to next time I say